Hi, 18 Cinema Summary here. In this video, we are going to tell you the full recap of a movie called Girl in the Basement. This film tells the story of a teenage girl who is locked up by his father for 20 years. During her captivity, her father often forces himself on her, until finally, they have 3 children. How will this teenage girl's story unfold? Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. One night, during a family dinner, Sarah tells her father that she's going to be late for a party. This takes Don, Sarah's father, back since he doesn't know that Sarah has plans to go to a party. Sarah assures him that it's no big deal since it's only a party, but her father disagrees, grabs Sarah's hand, and forces her to sit, asserting the big deal is her attitude. However, Irene, Sarah's mother, could only tell Sarah to listen to her father. Sarah's sister, Amy, offers to take her to the party, but Don tells her to stay out of it. He forbids his daughter from going to the party, and she leaves. Not long after, Sarah sneaks out of the house and meets her boyfriend, Chris, waiting outside. The two leave on Chris's motorcycle. Back at home, Irene knocks on Sarah's door, asking her daughter to talk to her. As Irene continues to knock, Don gets mad and starts banging on the door. No answer, Don forces to open the door. Inside, they find the window open and Sarah's bed empty. At the outdoor party, Sarah and Chris are having a good time dancing. Chris then takes Sarah away from the crowd to a quieter spot. As they sit on the grass, Chris sings Sarah a song that he made on his own. Meanwhile, Don is looking out the window and check if Sarah is back. The following morning, Chris takes Sarah home, and Don waits for her by the porch. He then watches his daughter walk to the house, but not toward the front door. Don calls her attention, telling her to come in the front door like a normal person. Ignoring her father, Sarah tells her father that she'll be out of their house once she turns 18. Feeling disrespected, Don gently pins Sarah against the door, and just in time, her mother comes, and she goes upstairs. While in bed, Amy talks to Sarah about her sneaking out. Sarah says it was worth it, adding that Chris said he loved her. Then, Amy reminds her that she'll be out of their house in no time. Their mother enters the room to let Sarah know that she's grounded for a week. Annoyed, Sarah swears again that she's leaving as soon as she turns 18. Meanwhile, her father stands outside her door, listening to their conversation. When asked if she has a plan, Sarah says she intends to travel the world, getting jobs that will help her work her way across the country. Her mother and Amy support her. Unhappy with what he just heard, Don goes down to the basement and sits down to think. Then, he walks up to the bookshelf and starts pushing it, revealing a door to a secret room. 3 months later, after Sarah has graduated, she talks to Chris on the phone about her plans. When Irene asks her where her father is, she says he's out front. Her mother says that he's been spending too much time in the basement lately. Irene then leaves, and when he's sure his wife is gone, Don tells Sarah to hang up the phone and help him with something. Sarah assisting her father with carrying a big box down the basement. Down there, Don pushes the bookshelf aside, and Sarah is surprised to see the secret room. Don explains that the previous owner has built the bomb shelter. After bringing the box inside, Sarah says it's not nice since there are no windows, and Don suddenly locking her inside. Sarah bangs the door and yells, pleading with her father to let her out, but Don ignores her and leaves. Scared, Sarah opens the box they carry and finds her belongings inside. She then takes a look around the room, which only has a sink and a shower head. Her father pushes the bookshelf back to its place. After failing to guess the door's security code 3 times, the lights go out, and Sarah's left to use the flashlight inside her box. She tries looking for anything that might be useful, and she ends up spotting the vent. Sarah goes near it, screaming for her mother, but Don is already on the other side of the vent. He covers it to make sure that no one will hear her, and Don goes back upstairs. As darkness falls, Irene gets worried since Sarah isn't home yet, and says she'll call the cops, but Don stops her and calms her down. Still worried, Irene instructs Amy to contact Chris. Days pass and Sarah remains in the bomb shelter with nothing else to do. She tries unlocking the door's code until the lights go out. On the 4th day, her father finally visits her, as Sarah hides behind a pillar. As soon as he gets inside, she pushes him out of the way and gets out, only to be trapped outside the second door. Don then drags her back inside the bomb shelter. He reveals that he changes the code every day. 3 failed attempts on the keypad will shut the power off, including the ventilation system. Don only tells her that this is the consequence of her being disrespectful. He asks her if she understands him, and when Sarah doesn't answer, he slaps her and pins her to the door before forcing himself on her. Outside the door, Don watches his daughter slow get up, only to throw up. With that, he takes his leave. Outside the door, Irene tells the cop that it's unlike her daughter just to run off. The cop says that since Sarah is already 18, she can come and go as she pleases. Don comes and tells the officer that Sarah's bag and some of her clothes are missing. He also asks Irene if she mentioned Sarah's plan to the officer, so Irene tells the officer about her daughter's plan to start from Florida. Sobbing, Irene insists that Sarah wouldn't leave without saying goodbye to her. The officer then asks her boyfriend's number, and Amy leaves to get it. The officer then informs them that they've already filed a missing persons report, but since they have no leads, that's all he can do at that point. In the bomb shelter, Sarah gets more frustrated as days pass. Demoralized, Sarah could only think of her boyfriend and their plan to go to Florida. One day, while Don is mowing the lawn, Chris shows up at their house looking for Sarah, saying the cops called him, and that he has something for her. Don makes up a story about Sarah running off with a guy named Steve. According to his wife, Don says the two are in Florida and Sarah is working as a waitress. Upset, Chris prepares to leave. On her 21st day in captivity, Don brings Sarah a small cake for her 18th birthday. Sarah crawls toward the cake and blows up the candle. He gives Sarah a red dress and asks her to put it on. Once she's done, Don tells her to pick something she wants. Sarah asks for a television and a clock, and Don agrees. On the 38th day, she receives some canned goods, which gives her the idea of making a weapon out of the small tin can. When her father arrives, Sarah is already in her red dress, and with the makeshift weapon in her hand behind her back, she tries attacking her father, but Don disarms her with ease. He throws Sarah against the wall and brutally steps on her arm. The man forces himself on Sarah once more. A year has gone by, and Don gets Sarah pregnant. As she cleans one day, her water suddenly breaks, and with the help of the pregnancy book she has, Sarah gives birth to her first child alone. She calls her child Marie. Marie stays with Sarah in the basement. In her 4th year in captivity, Sarah gets pregnant again. Worried about the baby, Sarah tries to ask Don if he can finally let them out, but he only gets furious with her. Don leaves Sarah and Marie and joins Irene and Amy upstairs for dinner. And when Irene asks if they could hire a private investigator, Don says Irene has already spent $5,000 going to Florida to find Sarah. Irene says she'll never stop searching for her daughter. This upset Don, and he leaves. That night, Don brings Sarah and Marie a television as a Christmas present. In her 7th year in captivity, when Sarah has already given birth to their second child, Sarah asks Don to bring some medicine to Marie, but they're the wrong kind. Unbothered, Don says that she needs to take care of it since she's the mother now. Sarah insists that Marie needs a doctor, but Don ignores her and leaves. One day, Chris visits Sarah's house, hoping to hear anything from her. He sees Amy and starts asking about Sarah. When she replies that they still haven't heard from her, Chris mentions Steve. Chris tells her that her father told him about Steve and Sarah, which confuses Amy. Chris learns from Amy that Don was lying about Steve and Sarah, realizing that it's just a made-up story. When he asks Amy what she thinks happened to Sarah, Amy admits that sometimes she thinks her father has done something to her. Meanwhile, Sarah pregnant for the 3rd time, Marie tells her that she wants to go outside with Don. Sarah tells her she can't. Marie rudely talks back to her, making Sarah put her on timeout. After knowing that Don lied to Chris, she confronts her husband. He arrogantly tells her that it doesn't make any difference if he lies to some lowlife. Unable to control herself, Amy asks him if he did something to Sarah. Irene storms off, and when Don follows her, Amy notices the key he left on the sofa. She takes them and goes down to the basement. As Amy searches the basement, Don shows up and asks for his keys before angrily sending her away. For the 3rd time, Sarah gives birth, and she calls him Thomas. When Don arrives, Sarah gives Don a massage. She suggests that he should take Thomas upstairs because the room isn't enough. Then, she'll have more time to take care of Don. Don leaves Thomas on their porch with a note from Sarah, saying that she hopes she'll take care of her son, Thomas. As Irene leaves the baby, she doesn't notice that there's a smaller note in the bassinet. As Irene takes Thomas inside, Don finds the note and reads it. He goes to the basement and tells Sarah that he's found her message in the bassinet. Don throws her red dress before forcing himself on her. After 14 years, Sarah is pregnant once more and cutting his second child's hair, Michael. Suddenly, Marie decides to wear makeup, and when Sarah sees the way Dawn is looking at her daughter, she tells him to stay away from her. To get back at her, Dawn turns off the power as he leaves. With no ventilation system, Marie struggles to breathe, so they have to stay near the vent. Feeling sad, Marie tells Sarah that she doesn't have any friends, and Sarah assures Marie that she will, and that she's working on it. Out of the blue, Marie asks Sarah how she met her dad. Sarah then confesses to Marie that she has known Marie's father almost her whole life, and Marie tells her to get a divorce once they are out of the basement. In her 17th year in captivity, Sarah gets pregnant once again. In the bomb shelter, Sarah takes advantage of the leaking water caused by the rain and tries to dig through the ceiling using a spoon. She's able to dig a hole deep enough to reach a sewer. She then flashes a light through it and a man passing by sees it. Unfortunately, the man informs Dawn about the light. Angry, Dawn goes to the basement and beats Sarah. When Dawn leaves, Sarah bleeds and goes into labor. Sadly, the baby dies, leaving Dawn to take the body and bury it. In the 18th year, Marie and Michael take their frustration out on their mother, blaming her for why they're still trapped there. By then, Sarah loses it, starts breaking things. After they calm her down, Sarah starts telling the truth about Dawn. She continues her story, explaining how Dawn tricked her into getting in the basement. As Marie and Michael understand who Dawn really is, Marie starts to have an asthma attack. During their 20th year in captivity, Marie gets a severe asthma attack. When Dawn finally arrives, Sarah begs him to take them to the hospital. Dawn refuses at first, but Sarah is finally able to persuade him. They leave Michael in the basement. Arrives at the hospital, Marie is in critical condition. The doctor tells Sarah and Dawn about Marie's condition. While the doctor talks to Dawn about Marie's medical history, Sarah stays quiet, just staring at the clock the whole time. While Dawn is looking away, Sarah spills water on Marie's medical paper, forcing Dawn to leave and get another one. Sarah seizes the opportunity to ask for help from the doctor, leading to Dawn's arrest. When Marie wakes up, Sarah tells her that they're finally free. The three siblings are finally reunited, and as Sarah, Amy, and Irene watch them from the porch, Chris suddenly shows up. Sarah and Chris catch up, and as they talk, Chris apologizes to her for believing Dawn's story and not looking for her. Sarah, however, tells him that she's never stopped thinking about him for 20 years. Chris gives Sarah a new helmet, which he was supposed to give to her the day he talked to Dawn. After 20 long years, the two of them finally go for a ride once more. And that wraps up our recap this time for the movie Girl in the Basement. Feel free to drop a comment below as to what we should recap next. Thank you for watching.